Hello, good morning. Welcome to JoyNews today. JoyNews desk. My apologies. Coming up this morning, despite the numerous assurances from relevant authorities to intervene in the treatment of kidney patients after JoyNews Dialysis Crisis Thought Leadership event, the outpatient department of the renal unit remains closed.
The death toll has risen from 14 patients of our last press conference to 19 patients.
We'll hear from frustrated patients who say the death toll continues to rise. Also, Parliament to consider a new instrument which will create a new constituency for the South areas to rectify the constitutional anomaly that has left thousands of residents in that area without representation in Parliament.
This is the instrument that is likely to save this house and forgive us for the cardinal sin that we are said to have committed.
And as the NPP prepares to elect a new leader on November 4, Vice President Dr. Bawumia is fighting off claims he mismanaged the economy more as his contenders accuse the party of a skew in favor of the Vice President. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. Despite assurances from relevant authorities to intervene in the treatment of kidney patients following JoyNews' Dialysis Crisis Thought Leadership event, the outpatient department of the Korle-Bu renal unit remains closed. We'll hear from the Kidney Patients Association shortly, but first, here is CEO of the hospital, Dr. Pukuwari Ampoma, explaining the closure.
We've been under recovering for some time now. As I said, our prices were set about 3 years ago. So this, and you should also appreciate where we've come from. When dialysis started in Korle-Bu, the average cost per session was around about $100 per session, equivalent of $100. And now the price has come down considerably. As of today, but the current, we are under recovering for the current price. And so we also need to, much as we sympathize with the patients, we also need to keep the service sustainable. And so First Sky support has been very, very tremendous in helping us to be able to provide service for about 80%, free dialysis for 80% of the patients that we treat. Unfortunately, because of the increase in the cost of the consumables, not the increase in the cost as such, because in Forex it's the same, but when it comes to the CD equivalent, it's gone up. So we need to make those adjustments. And so that is so in fact, as we stand now, the renal unit has a deficit or has a financial deficit of 4 million cedis that we need to, that we are trying to find ways of.
Is that debt?
Yes, that's
or you
debt.
owe a supplier?
No, it's debt. Yes, debt that we owe.
How do you accrue that? How was that accrued?
It's because of the under recovery from the service that we are providing. And so to continue to run at full throttle would mean that with this debt is going to balloon, okay? And that is why there was a need for us to look at adjusting the price, whilst we also engage with the relevant stakeholders to see how best this deficit can be met.
Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Siasari, gave the assurance that the government will intervene in the situation to get the unit open, but to date the unit remains closed to outpatients. Spokesperson for the Kidney Patients Association, Daniel Hammond, says the situation is causing the death toll to rise. We can now speak with President of the Renal Patients Association, Bafo Kojo Ahenkra, who joins us on the line for more. I'm grateful for your time, sir. Has there been any improvement with regards to access to dialysis treatment at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital since the last time we spoke?
No. So the unit is still not open to the outpatients, but my understanding is that the kind of consumables that they have, if the unit is to open to the OPD and something is not done about it, they will run short within a month. So that, and if that happens, if there's any emergency cases, and they cannot handle it. So that is why they are doing, they are still using it to do the inpatient and then the emergency cases. But further, outpatients, we don't have access to the place.
We are hearing that, I mean, since that time until date, there's been more deaths. Can you confirm this?
Yes. After the time we did the first press, it was 14. Now they are up to 19 now. We have 5 more additional to it. So 19. We have 19 people. We've lost 19 people. Yeah.
So how are your members coping?
My dear, we are not coping with it. We are just there. The point is, we cannot even access the private dialysis centers because it's very expensive. Secondly, I always keep saying this thing. We cannot, the kind of treatment Korle-Bu gives to us is the best. And some of the private dialysis centers are not, I wouldn't say it's not the best, but the kind of quality Korle-Bu gives is quite different from what they give. So it's like the system is used to Korle-Bu, and now you go out and you're not getting the kind of the treatment, the clearance that you need. So we are not coping. It's like we are just managing the situation. You get the money, you go and find a place and you do one. Now most of them too are not able to do the 2 or 3 times sessions a week. They are just managing one, and which is another big blow. So day in, day out, most of the outpatients now are now going back to the ward because they are feeling sick. And they go for checkup clinics, then you'll be admitted, and they go back to the ward. So the situation is getting worse and worse.
Now, the Korle-Bu says that it's being swallowed by its 4 million debt. And that's, I mean, the reason why this is happening. What exactly do you want from government?
Oh, I'm very happy you've raised this issue. In fact, I've been on another platform with the Korle-Bu CEO talking about this 4 million issue. And the last time when we were at your studio, the presidential advisor, Dr. Inchance, has made an assurance that they are going to see to it that 4 million will be paid. And my dear, honestly speaking, I mean, that money needs to be paid because they owe Fresenius, the people who give us the contract, they owe them. And once that money is paid, maybe something can be done. The last time I had a check with the Korle-Bu CEO, they were saying that if they are going to charge the 380, the old price, then there's supposed to be a subsidy from the government, about 900 and something per month. You know, and all this boils down back to this. The government has to come in. This thing, there are other countries, they are doing it for free. They are doing it for free. And I keep saying now, kidney issue, it's not about, old days they will say that people who drink, people who smoke. But now come to Korle-Bu. We have 9 years, 10 years, 13 years. Have they taken any alcohol? Have they got any smoke? It's a disease now, and it's global. People are getting it. And nobody can sustain it. No one can sustain it. So government has to come in. And then we are begging the government, the taxes on the consumables, the taxes on the consumables. Because now if the government says you're going to do something on Korle-Bu, all the pressure will be on Korle-Bu. Everybody will come to Korle-Bu. But if the taxes are taken off, the private centers too can have a very moderate prices for them so that they can go into it. And the Korle-Bu have to check the prices dialysis centers that they are doing the right thing too. This is the appeal we are giving to the government. As they look at the taxes, and then that 4 million, the taxes, the Korle-Bu is going to Fresenius, they should see to it for us. Because, my dear, and this thing that they are talking about is going to take them about between 6 to 12 months. What Okuboy said. Oh, you close this thing from May, and now we should wait for another year before you can put this on NI. Then before then, all of us will die. All of us will die.
Yes, definitely, and it's really a pathetic story, but we are still pushing this, and we're hoping that this will be resolved shortly. Definitely, we had the presidential advisor on health assuring that this will happen. The National Insurance Authority has also promised that it will feature on the National Health Insurance Scheme. And so we will see how this goes, and that the situation will be solved. I'm grateful for your time. He's the president of the Renal Dialysis Patients Association, and he's lamenting that Korle-Bu must get its renal units opened so that they can also have access to the machines. Let's get on to other stories, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has ordered a parliamentary probe into the Akosombo Dam spillage that has left thousands of residents in at least 7 regions displaced and properties running into millions of cedis destroyed. A section of the public have criticized the Volta River Authority, which undertook the spillage, for not sensitizing the affected communities enough. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kuku Asante reports.
Parliament had been on recess all this period whilst several communities had been taken over by the floods caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. Whilst the human suffering in these communities continue, Parliament is now set to take some action on their behalf. Minority Leader Dr. Kiselato Fosen, in his welcome remarks, announced his side was going to file a private member's motion to demand a probe.
In the last few weeks, Mr. Speaker, we have witnessed arguably the biggest man-made disaster to ever befall our nation. I am referring to the devastation caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam by the Volta River Authority. Mr. Speaker, as Minority Caucus, our hearts bleed for all the victims of this man-made disaster, which has rendered several thousands of people homeless and swept away farms, destroyed livelihood of many people in parts of Oti region, Volta region, Eastern region, Greater Accra region, Bono East, Savannah, and Northern regions. Mr. Speaker, the affected communities and regions have yet to recover from the aftermath of this disaster. The conduct of both the government and the Volta River Authority in terms of leading a coordinated emergency response and disaster relief effort leaves much to be desired. Right Honourable Speaker, I conclude by saying that we hereby serve notice that we will present a motion to demand a parliamentary inquiry into the circumstances that led to a man-made disaster of such magnitude.
The Majority Leader of Seiche Mensah-Bonsu focused on the politicization of the floods, but insisted the VRA must be brought before MPs to answer questions.
The House may have to invite the VRA to brief us on the situation relating to the spillage and all other connected matters. Mr. Speaker, I believe the Minister responsible for water resources and indeed energy as well. It is scary, Mr. Speaker, the extent some Ghanaians, including some MPs, go to politicize every single event in this country. As MPs, one of our core responsibilities is to inform and by that educate the citizenry.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has now ordered that the House conducts an inquiry into the floods and the VRA's actions.
It is unacceptable that an activity as potentially destructive as dam spillage was done without a well thought through security and safety preparedness plan. As such, Parliament will take the necessary action to inquire into the matter and make recommendations for the protection of property and lives living along the Volta River and Lake and other settlements along riverbeds. Honourable members, this is a national assignment, and Parliament should be seen to be leading in finding solutions to this somehow perennial problem confronting the nation.
It is not clear which form exactly this probe that has been ordered by the Speaker will take, but it will normally come in 2 forms. Either a special committee will be constituted with members from either side of the House to look into these matters, or an existing standing committee will be asked to look into these matters. But of course, it must be put on record that the NDC MPs have had some strong words for the Volta River Authority, which they say have spearheaded this man-made disaster in the Volta region. But one thing that has stood out in this matter on the floor of the House is that both sides have spoken about the need for government and other individuals to move in to restore life to normalcy. Reporting for JoyNews, Kuku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Let's stick with Parliament because the House has been asked to consider a new instrument which creates a new constituency for the SAL areas. The constituency, which will be known as the Guan constituency, is to rectify the constitutional anomaly that has left thousands of residents in the area without representation in Parliament. The EC's action in not allowing residents in SAL to vote in the parliamentary election in 2020 has been roundly condemned. The new instrument has been laid and has been referred to the Subsidiary Legislation Committee by the Speaker.
Honourable members, the Representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023 is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation for consideration and report to the House. This is the instrument that is likely to save this House and forgive us for the cardinal sin that we are said to have committed. It deals with the issue of the SAL, and a number of them have now come up for consideration by the House.
Now, the youth of Garu and Tempani in the Upper East region are demanding an unqualified apology from the Ministry of National Security and the Ghana Armed Forces for the brutality meted out to civilians in the two districts at dawn on Sunday. At a joint press conference in Garu, the youth also demanded a full-scale investigation into the incident. According to them, some personal belongings of some of the civilians were taken away from them and must be returned. Emmanuel Isaka spoke on behalf of the youth.
These unprofessional military men claim that some alleged 4 national security operatives who were in Garu on an official assignment bare-faced falsehood peddled by the Ministry of National Security. Ladies and gentlemen, permit us to set the record straight on some falsehood and half-truth peddled by the Ministry of National Security in their 29th October press release. 1. The Ministry of National Security claimed that the irate youth attacked the vehicle when the officers were seated in the Land Cruiser vehicle with registration number GS 7520-22, which was removed and kept aside the vehicle. This is not accurate. The record should reflect that the officers were not in the vehicle, but rather inside the police station at the time the unknown assailants fired gunshots into the vehicle. The claim by the Minister of National Security that the officers sought refuge at the Garu police station is wholly inaccurate, and yet another attempt to create disaffection for the people of Garu and Tempani. It was rather the vigilant youth who requested that the claimed officers go with them from their hideout to the police station to authenticate their identity. If the Minister of National Security claimed that their barbaric act and unprofessional conduct was to retrieve the weapons used in attacking the vehicle, at least the DCEs were present at the time of the torture. We ask, where are the seized weapons? Yes, there are no single reported incident of the retrieval of weapons from any of the homes invaded. We ask, did the Minister of National Security and the military invade and visit such heinous crimes on the people of Wale when a VIP bus that loaded passengers from Kumasi was burned into ashes
No.
at the Walewale police station?
No.
Why the people of Garu and Tempani?
Oh, start.
Okay. On Tuesday, background to the issue.
Some of the youth of Garu and Tempani have also been expressing their frustrations and making some demands of government.
Going to take the laws into our hands, but we will not come out as workers in the town whilst we are being beaten, whilst our items are taken from us, whilst our leaders are still in police custody and we don't even know where they are whereabouts.
For us.
The whole of Ghana, if it is really true that those boys they have arrested and airlifted them to Accra are really militants, as the whole country is speculating, the cause of our land will speak for us. The second one had to do with the arms. The whole country is spreading lies about the people of Garu, the good people of Garu, that we have taken 2 arms. If it is true, the cause of our land in this country, not Garu alone, the whole of the coast of the land of the whole of Ghana will speak for us.
Upper East Region correspondent Albert Sorry, who's been following this for us, joins us with more. Albert, what's the latest on this story?
Well, so there hasn't been any major update this morning. One of the major issues for the people of Garu is for government to take action to conduct an investigation into the incident. And also for those who have been arrested, their families are saying that most of them, or if not all of them, were not involved in the attack on the national security personnel, and so they want them released. The regional minister was in the area 2 days ago, and he gave the assurance that once the investigations and whatever reasons they were arrested for are concluded, they will be released and be made to come home. And so these are the things that the people of Garu are waiting for. But then there are also the concerns of some of them not being able to provide the cost of medical care for their families. Remember, this is a very rural area, and a lot of the people are poor. And some of them feel that, they were not planning to go to the hospital. They were not sick. Soldiers just came into their homes, bashed in, and beat people up, left them with injuries, and a lot of them were not even arrested or charged for any crime. And so they are expecting that this issue should not be swept under the carpet, and government should really do something about it, take care of the cost of medical bills. The regional minister pledged an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis to support the victims. But a lot of them feel that this will not be enough because there's a patient who, at the moment, has been transferred to the Tempani Teaching Hospital because of a chest and head injury. Another one was transferred to a neighboring hospital in Garu. And so they feel that government needs to do more and also to, render an unqualified apology to the people of the area for the actions of the military.
Albert Sorry is our correspondent in the Upper East region. We'll definitely bring you more from that side on the story. Now, flag bearer aspirant of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Usefri Akoto, says he's capable of breaking the 8 for the NPP in the 2024 elections. Over 200,000 delegates of the NPP will on Saturday elect the party's presidential candidate for the next elections. He's however warning any attempt to subvert the will of the people will be disastrous for the party. Alton Broby reports.
Out of 958 delegates, Dr. Owusu Efia-Akoto pulled 36 votes in the Super Delegates Conference in August, enough to secure him a seat among the table of 5. According to him, he went into the election hoping to make the first 5.
So our strategy was to make sure that we are in the 5, and we are in the 5. And this coming forth is a totally different ballgame altogether, because you are talking about 20 times
the number.
Yes.
So how do you respond to those who say that this clearly is a reflection of what is to come?
Oh, well, I think they are being, it's a misjudgment.
But why do you think that it can change?
Because the delegates down there are totally different from their leadership. Their leadership have disappointed them. I'm very confident that those down there who have suffered so much for this party will take the right decision. And that right decision is to choose Owusu Efia-Akoto as their flag bearer.
But after engaging more than half of the 900 super delegates, he was shocked that only 36 voted for him.
Fear the delegates, yes, and that's true. But the thing is that for me, talking to out of the 958 who voted, at least I can say that I spoke directly to more than half of them to convince, to sell my vision for the party and for the country. And I was very sure that at the end of it, they bought into my vision. At the end of the day, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So Owusu Efia was right, that you fear delegates. But in the case of the 220,000 delegates, I don't think I've interacted with even 10% of them. Except that you rely on the structures that you build to get your message to them.
But the insincerity of the delegates is not his only concern. The former Food and Agriculture Minister tells me the entire process was skewed in favor of one candidate.
The reasons given by Mr. Trematine for quitting the contest to start with before coming out to say that he's no longer with the party, those are very solid ones, and I'm very sympathetic to those. See, the implication of all this is the unity of this party. If we are not seen to be having a level playing field, after 4th November, it's going to be very difficult to unite the party against the NDC. And for me, that is my worry. Because if people feel that they have not been fairly treated, how do you expect them to cooperate with the party after the contest when they feel that they haven't been treated well?
For 8 years between 2009 and 2016, Dr. Efia-Akoto served as a member of parliament for Kwadaso in the Ashanti region. He was made Food and Agriculture Minister when the MPP won power in 2016. During his 6-year tenure, he spearheaded a government flagship program planning for food and jobs. The son of the late Asantehene linguist Bafo Akoto is counting on his strong roots in the Ashanti region to prepare him to victory. But he faces challenges there because the regional chairman, Bernard Nchibu-Asiakum, also known as Chairman Wontumim, has thrown his weight behind the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia.
The delegates down there have no respect for the conduct of the regional chairman. And his impression that he creates that he is in charge of the delegates will be proven on the 4th of November. Whether the kind of percentage that his candidate got will be repeated down there is still something that we have to wait for. But I'm confident that the message I've given to the people of Ashanti and to the rest of this country, the delegates know that this is the man.
Dr. Efia-Akoto is hoping victory this weekend will help him reform the party and make it battle ready to win the upcoming 2024 general elections. This, he noted, would also enable him to have the mandate to pursue sustainable policies that are aimed at renewing the hope and confidence of the MPP fraternity.
We want to bring fundamental reforms into the MPP. We are not in a good place, and I'm the first to admit. And also the way the party is managed. We have rules and regulations which say that if you are a party official, you don't define or come out to say that you are supporting this person or that person. And look at what is happening. The whole government, the whole parliament, the whole party, most of the party, people, managers and so on, have come out openly to say that they support one person. And it goes against the rules. So that alone should tell you that there's something wrong with our party. And for me, I'm very unhappy.
For those who have worked closely with him, he is the best man for the job. Peter Otendakon is a close confidant.
I would describe Dr. Akoto as a go-getter, somebody whose words are sacred. If Dr. Akoto says this, take it as a contract. he means every word that he says. And Dr. Koto is a very serious person. He's somebody who is an authority. If he says, let's deliver this, he will ensure that you deliver to the latter. That is Dr. Koto.
Elton Brobe for Joy News.
Another contender, Engineer Adainimo, has also been speaking about campaign financing, explaining some aspirants are more equipped than the others, adding there must be a way to ensure a level playing field. He spoke on PM Express.
And what difference would that make?
It will. Assuming we have to go on a constituency tour, and there are 5 contestants, everybody should contribute. It's going to cost us, let's say, 1,000 Ghana cedis.
Put it in the pool.
Put it in the pool, everybody contribute. Then the party takes that money. The party has to organize that platform for all of you there, contestants. So you are going there to deliver your message to the delegates. You don't pay anything. It's now for the party structure to remit delegates who showed up by way of their TNT from their various communities to the central point of meeting. So you will see that is...
What have you seen in this campaign from your other contestants?
Well, they may be more resourceful because the 3 of them we are remaining 4. The 3 of them have all been part of the current MPP government under Nana Akufo-Addo, with the exception of Adainimo, as you are aware.
Yeah, but Kennedy Dupont has been a member of parliament only.
No, he is also part of the government as a board chairman for Ghana Gas.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that is, on the periphery.
Really? Really? A state institution like Ghana Gas, where they disburse millions of Ghana cedis, and as board chairman, you supervise the disbursement of millions of Ghana cedis, and that could even match to the whole budget of a ministry.
Are you saying he's a beneficiary of that distribution?
I don't know. No, I haven't said so. But you supervise. So
yeah,
you cannot...
Supervising doesn't give you the resource directly.
It doesn't, I know. No, you are not just a board chair. Board chair policies will emanate from the board for implementation by management. And as board chair, you cannot absolve yourself from the policies that will come from them.
I get it, but I don't see how that translates into him being more wealthy in the campaign.
Well, I mean, it depends how you look at it.
How do you look at it?
There can be an inherent, benefit. As a board chairman, there can be an inherent benefit. And so that's why you can't run away from it. Another interest may also arise. I may not have evidence to show. But
meanwhile, a group of MPP delegates outside Ghana have declared their support for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia ahead of the party's November 4 presidential primaries. The delegates who have traveled back to Ghana to participate in the electoral process say the vice president represents their choice of candidate to lead the party in breaking the 8. At a press conference held in Kumasi, the group pleaded with the over 200,000 delegates nationwide to vote for the vice president on Saturday, November 4.
As the governing New Patriotic Party goes to the polls to elect a flag bearer on November 4th, some delegates across the country and abroad have declared their support for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The group, calling itself Diaspora for Bawumia, says it believes in the vision of the vice president with confidence to lead the MPP into a historic victory on December 7th, 2024.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, on his campaign journey, have shown competence, tolerance, and experience. He has shown that he is the one to unite the party. The leadership have made a statement, and all of us, we back all the leadership. Grassroots are solidly behind Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who stands for unity. And we believe that when he wins, MPP, we are all coming together as one party with one body, and we are going to win come November 4th.
Chairman of the group, Kingsley Ahenkwa-Dudu, says the endorsement for Dr. Bawumia is based on his contribution to the party.
We have seen the global economic hardship in all global in US, UK, and all the external branches. We are in here to speak to that and also to assure Ghanaians that the NPP government is the only government to bring back our economy. And we can do this by voting massively for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia come November 4th. We are here to appeal to all delegates, both home and abroad, to vote massively for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. We want to make a statement. We are looking at 90% now. We want to make an acclamation for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Mr. Jude believes Dr. Bawumia can help the party win the crucial 2024 general elections.
We are in to support Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia because we believe that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is the only person to change the economic challenges that we are currently facing. And NPP, grassroots, both home and abroad, we are all solidly behind him. We want to make a statement, and we will all rally behind him come 2024 general election. We are about to make another statement. We see this to be an acclamation. We are united with one voice, and we are going in for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. In fact, this is not a situation of peer delegates. The grassroots, we are solidly behind him, and we are winning massively come November 4th.
For JoyNews, Nana Boachidan Kweyadom, Kumasi.